sister, is that what are some of the misunderstandings of the Moorish history that our people really need to understand?
Wow, that's vast.
Just going on.
It's just so vast.
Right.
Well, the main thing is people don't know anything about their nationality or birthright, or that they are a Moor. Or, well, let's start with what is a Moor. You know, that would be the first thing. It's like, what is a Moor? What is, you know, like they'll say all this stuff about more and more and more. I mean, it is the manifestation of the being into the flesh, the being who travels upon the waters of the earth, but first beginning in the waters of their mother's womb. See, when you look up the word more, it just doesn't mean a noun. It's actually an action. So it means that we travel upon the 7 stages of development in the waters of the mother's womb. That's mooring.
So they study the actual cities and they monitor these particular things. Fortunately, the last 4 or 5 years, black people have gone to a certain savage level, and that's good. I'll tell you what I'm talking about here. When the Arabs was going across Africa, and, you know, right after Muhammad, they went across Africa, and if you didn't submit to Islam, they cut your head off and you died.
First time I saw the prophets pick like, whoa. No one ever told I feel sick like, bro. Stomach all churning what I'm learning like, no. Also have my own flag not burning like, no. Fez a turban on other nations like, whoa. What's wrong with your people's minds like, whoa. Wanna take pics and talk for hours like, yo. Never felt this reppin' black power like, bro. Never felt this reppin' chematology. Most of your black leaders teach tricknology. Egypt is North Africa, so is Morocco, in the farthest west. Mecca is Chicago, Mississippi, Nile River, Grand Canyon, Pharaoh. I'm Moroccan native, they call the mother spaceship. Disrespect Malik L, call him slave named Malcolm. Speak truth, watch blacks have a tantrum. Masked up like phantoms, age of corona. Catch the Heineken virus, not improper persona. Fall victim to lymphoma, pineal melanoma. Like whoa, when I read the Treaty of Verona. Whoa, when I read the Protocols of Zion, with goosebumps drinking roots of the dandelions, berries of the elders, grass of the lemons. Like whoa, how my people ride with these snitch felons.
People lost start telling like, whoa. Me felon. Oh, no. Twin towers explode like 9/11. Times 7 like melting down the church bells to fill a weapon too sick like Catholic priests playing with leeches. My wolf pack tear 'em apart, breaking the leashes. Bad night, bad mission, sad vision, past living, cash missing. I done seen it all before like fast life. Alhamdulillah, Stephallah, cash life. Feds getting involved, switching on flashlights. Allah, we appear like Wallah. Scimitar, make 'em calm down, Goose Rabba. CNN show the hoax on the repeat. Corona is over, now George on a repeat. Like how would you survive? Everybody crash. Jesus, take the wheel, it's gonna be another rapture. Go to crisiscast.com. Right now you'll see that we in the matrix. Right now George Soros handing out paychecks. Right now niggas mad cause they ain't get paid yet. Pipe down, I mean Pope down. Pause all the savages, they only active to react to what is happening. What's happening? City ordinance, marriage rights subjugate the womb, human trafficking.
Islam. GS is about to be crazy. Mufti's going wild.
All of that is black culture. You see, when I was sitting down at the bus stop back in September, and I looked down and there's somebody left a Bible there. And I guess the spirit was like saying, well, there's some stuff in there you need to go in and retrieve. And I opened the Bible up and it went to Moab. And then I saw a story on Turner Classics, the story of Ruth. All of this stuff is nothing but, no matter these white faces or whatever, we did live in other lands and we were a universal people. And these stories of our people, that's all over the earth.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gates Cemetery, February the 4th days. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law makes civil little a lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. Or keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm Rob Bass, mixing with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets stood me up right, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm sorbet, prepping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J. Israel. Had no but I lay in plain sight.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gates Cemetery, February the 4th days. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law makes civil little a lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. Or keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm Rob Bass, mixing with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets stood me up right, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm sorbet, prepping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J. Israel. Had no but I lay in plain sight. But people still can't see it, so the snake's still showing up. Stakes still high, so the race still going up. Warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up. Born in the manger, sworn to be savior. Walk through the valley of the shadows of the death dip in slavery. Looking for life, the book of Genesis. Astroplane interests, invoke the nemesis. Abstract images of past lives kicking in. Danger, running for your life, finish him.
Moorish Omar, key man or oracle. Using Trinity powers, decipher allegorical. Lost and metaphorical, holy books are metaphysic. Facts slap a dirty more or a Drew Ali critic. Calling him Thomas or Walter and get your face caved. Or cut like a close shave. Drowned in my brainwaves, squashed by heat waves. Activating Kundalini. Abyssinia invaded by Mussolini. Selassie I in exile. Reptile in Genesis, niggas appearing real. All I see is false evidence. VAR feminists, stomped on by elephants. More like go prejudice, but want Moorish benefits. When you feel the cold magnetic resonance. Apis horns of the sacred book called Maleficent. Great cosmic mothers, return to blessedness. No pestilence, ace all the testaments. Tap into remembrance, never to forget again. Use energy right, not put spell effects on men. Wandering the earth plane with no they live shades. Keeps you a mental slave as the horizon fades. It's been decades since Christian crusades. Not enough rebellions, too many vigil bouquets. Holding on to the fence, burning on doomsday. War ruled by Mars, it might be on a Tuesday.
Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick. What we do here is we add some common sense thinking to everyday situations or comments that may arise. Want to give it a try?
Want to give it a try? People are still dumb. We just want to clear up your incompetence. Clear up your incompetence. June 10th, 2019. Right, 2019. 2019. Right? 2019. Or 2019. Right? Allodial American National Identification Card, substantive rights. Right? Allodial American National Identification Card, substantive rights. Remember, 2019, right? If you just look right here, that sideways number there that you see there, MDNM 2012. 2012, right? Allodial American National Identification Card, substantive rights. Allodial American National Identification Card, substantive rights. Allodial American National Identification Card Substantive Rights. 2012. 2019. 2012. 2019. Now we know that our people have adopted tranny culture. They adopted gay guy culture. They adopted snitch culture. And clearly, with this, they've adopted and accepted biting culture. Copycat culture. They've adopted copycat culture. On top of all the other cultures that they adopted, that's not theirs. Our people. We're not talking about anybody else right now. All right, we'll get to other people in a second. 2012 is when I got my nationality card. In 2012, there was no Moorish American National Federal Government and all that stuff. It was Moorish Nation, Moorish Empire. In 2012, there wasn't Moorish American consular court stuff and all that. It didn't exist. It didn't exist. Now, if you are hip to the game, you know that when they say Moorish National Republic Federal Government, you know without a shadow of a doubt that they're talking about Moorish American Consulate. When they start talking Moorish National Federal Republic Government, they're talking about Moorish Consulate. Now, when you go to the new and updated Moorish American Consulate, they got Supreme Judiciary with some no fez people, right? No turban people, I mean. And then commissioned consular officers, and then see some people there, and then all these blank spots. What happened to all the faces that used to be on this? What happened to all the different territories and faces where they had consuls and all these different territories and calling China a Maxim and all that? Where's all that stuff? How come that's non-existent? Oh, because they revamped, right? Because they already caused enough confusion, so here they go causing more now. So now you don't even know who's down with it, who's not down with it. You're just willy-nilly going with whatever somebody says because they claim that they're Moors. You're just going with whatever. Because of incompetence, because of lack of study, because of you don't have any honors. If you had honors, you'll be riding with the people from 2012. If you had any honors. If you had honors, you would be supporting the people from 2012. You wouldn't be supporting the people from 2019 who just came 2 years ago. How are they a consul and they just came 2 years ago? Before 2 years ago, they were dumb nigger. So they were dumb nigger, and then in 2 years they become consulate, and then you're riding with them? You're a dumbass. Dumb and incompetent and stupid and an idiot. All of them. Because you got played. Super got played. Because they don't even have master teachers face up here anymore. Right? There ain't no master teachers face on here anymore. This is new stuff. This is the new stuff. This is the new site. Right? Asia Nor, a Maxim. That's where Moorish consulate guy where the Moorish travel document guy is supposed to be at, right? Where? How come he's not on the side anymore? How come they're keeping it secret that he's with them? Why are they hiding that now all of a sudden? Before he was up there, he's the one for China. Make sure you call him and all that stuff. How come they're hiding him now? Why are they hiding? You think they didn't realize that they're a fraud? You really think they didn't realize that they're a fraud? And are changing up their fraudulent activity so it doesn't look like the stuff from before? And then again, people are falling for it because they're flying in here talking about, oh yeah, the Moors, this and that. But then they never checked the document to see that these people came up in 2012 talking about, or came up in 2019 talking about allodial American National Identification Card. And then the allodial American National Identification Card supposed to be in all lowercase, because capitalizing it is putting you under the jurisdiction, according to this same guy right here. So how come he has his allodial nationality card in capitalized form, and then he's selling the people Mahdi's in lowercase, with Sharif, Nine, Feathers, and Bay in lowercase? How come your stuff is lowercase and his stuff is capitalized? I thought he said that's wrong. You're not supposed to do it that way. So why is he doing it that way? Or is he just doing that way to play your dumb ass? Because you're dumb. You're super dumb. You're so dumb. You're so incompetent that you, back in the day, if you bought a shoe and then I came and bought the same shoe that you bought, you're gonna mess my shoes up for spite, just because I copied your style. If I bought a jacket and then you came with the same jacket that I bought, everybody's looking at you funny. Why do you buy the same jacket that somebody else bought when you know they already got that jacket? Right, because that's biting. But a lot of these people don't listen to hip hop. They listen to trap and rap and all this other BS, so they don't know code of the streets. They don't know Gangstar. They don't know what's going on. All they know is little whoever and guys lap dancing devils and doing videos with naked men and stuff like that. That's all they know as far as their music. Which is why they don't have these basic principles. Basic principles of having honor. They don't know these basic principles of having honor. And these lack of honor people are who you're using as your reference point in order for you to be somebody as a Moor. You're using the people who stole. You're using people who stole the format from the Great Seal nationality cards and not say that they stole it and then push it as their idea, and then you're riding with them. And you got some nerve to talk about where's the unity and we're supposed to be Moors and supporting. No, we don't support traitors. Traitors are supposed to get beheaded. Traitors are supposed to get put against the wall and you bring out the firing squad. Traitors are supposed to get buried to their neck in a hole, and all the mothers get to throw stones at the head Any size stone that they find. That's what happens to traders. You don't give them 160 for travel documents. You don't do that. Especially if you can go to any corpse, pay less than that, and get a travel document. You can go to the corporate people and they'll give you a travel. Oh, I forgot. A lot of you people can't even get that. Which is why in your desperate, incompetent mindset, you're going to run to these jokers. Because, like we said, you want Hot Pocket for lunch. You don't want to cut up the veggies and all that stuff, put the oil in the pot and, make the onions get brown before you start throwing in your veggies and whatever else you throw. You don't want to do that. You want Hot Pocket lunch. You want 1 minute and you're eating. That's what you're looking for. That's your problem. Because when we did the research, right, they're telling you that they have a Moorish American travel document for you. Right? They have a Moorish American travel document for you. Right? Canadian passports, according to the so-called Government of Canada website, lets you know that a passport is the only reliable and universally accepted travel identification document. So if Canada passports are a travel document, then why would this travel document not be a passport? Why would this document not be a passport? It looks just like a passport. Same size as a passport. It's not looking anything different than a passport. So why would they go out of their way to stress to you that this is a Moorish American travel document when it's a passport? And then people use it and then they're excited because they use the passport to get across the border, as if these people don't accept passports. The corporate people accept passports. Why do you think it works? Why do you think you could use it? That's why we're telling you that it's a game. Ain't no different than World Service Authority giving people passports. That's a World Service Authority that works. Ain't no different. It's the same thing. Yeah, we call this the World Service Authority travel document. But it's a passport. And you're funding these people. You're funding them in order for you to cross the border. And because you cross the border with the travel document that's Moorish, you think you did something. But then when we ask you, well, what did you do Moorish when you went on your trip using this Moorish travel document? Or you went to go sit on the beach in your Speedos. You went to get a tan. You went to go sip the amazing drink that these people made with their natural fruits in their island, in their country, in their land. You wanted to experience so you didn't do anything Moorish there? So hold on a second, let me get this right. So your job is uplifting fallen humanity as a Moor, right? And you took your Moorish travel document and you went somewhere to go sit on the beach. That's not Moorish. How many people did you uplift? Matter of fact, when you got to this place, did you have your fez and turban on? Did they run up to you and say, "Hey, who are you? What are you doing here? Why are you doing in our land?" Or did you look like a tourist when you went there? Did he look like a free national? Did he look like a Moor? Or did he look like any other dumb nigger that jumps on a plane and goes somewhere? If you use this document to go somewhere, wherever it is that you went, and when you touch down to that place, you weren't going and connecting with other Moors there to bring something back for us over here, to acknowledge the fact that, you know, everybody knows what's up. The world knows who we are. Nothing? You just went there to go do your nigger stuff and then come back here and parade around like you did something because you showed a Moorish American travel document passport and they let you cross the border and they let you back in the country and that's all you recorded? You didn't record the conversation that you had with the elder over there that was telling you about the history of the Moors and how great it is to see you in your fez and your turban, because majority of the people that we see that come here, they don't look like how you look. You didn't record any of that. Oh, you record yourself jumping off the diving board into the What about the activity? If you're a Moor, nothing. You traveled all throughout the world with the Moorish American travel document. And you're telling me that you have nothing to show? That you were representing the Moorish nation where you went? Because you know you're a representative of the Moorish nation, right? Wherever you go, right? You know if you make this claim that you're Moorish American, you know that you should be honoring Noble Drew Ali every chance you get. You know you should be honoring the Moroccan flag every chance you get. You know, at every opportunity, you should be teaching somebody the truth about nationality and birthrights, even where they're at. Nothing done? You're just playing around with this to go across borders because your dumbass got in trouble and you can't get a passport, so now you're running to this to use this and go do nigger stuff. And thinking that you're doing something Moorish, you're not doing anything. We talk to Moors who don't have Moorish travel documents. And they're using passport. And they're coming back with more info and more stuff where they go than the people who have Moorish American travel document. So a brother with a passport is going to go to some land. And he's going to come back with videos upon videos of different people that he spoke to who acknowledge the Moorish presence, who acknowledge the history of the Moors, who acknowledge the power of the Fez and the dynamic culture that the Moors left in that place. And then the person with the Moorish American travel document is going to wherever and they're sending you thong pictures. They're coming back with, they're standing next to a tree picture. They're coming back with everything except something having to do with your Moorish culture being exposed or acknowledged or whatever. That lets you know that these people who are getting this Moorish American travel document or whatever, they don't have any intentions of doing stuff right. They're just playing follow the loser. That's what they're doing. They're playing follow the loser. Because if they were really about this for real, they would be going and challenging these people, Moorish American travel document people. They would be going and challenging them on why are they paying for their right. If they have a right to travel, if it's a right, why is the right 160? And then when you do travel, when you do actually get to travel with this document and you go somewhere, why are they lying and telling you that it's not a passport? What? Okay, let's just check another source. Maybe I'm tripping. I could be tripping. Let's just take another passport. In general, a passport is a travel document that also serves as proof of nationality from the issuing country. Okay, so if this was issued to you, hold on a second. So it proves proof of nationality from the issuing country. Okay, so if this was issued to you from Manchuria, because people, you can't say China because that's a corporation. All right, so if Manchuria issued this to you, because somebody in America didn't issue this to you, how is now? So a Moor in Manchuria is not issuing Moorish Manchurian travel documents. He's issuing Moorish American documents from Manchuria, and you think that that's legit? You think that's proof of your nationality? How is that proof of your nationality? If Europeans start making Hondas, you gonna take that serious? Or are you gonna go to Honda? So if you're not gonna buy the Europeans' Honda, you're gonna go buy Honda from the nationals that make Honda. Then why are you getting a Moorish American identification travel document from somebody who's near China? You still don't get it? You're still lost? You're still confused? You still aren't using your thinking? Oh yeah, that's right. You're a biter. You just follow what anybody's doing. That's your problem. All you do is copycat. You don't think. Majority of the people don't think. They just get told and then they do what they're told. And then they say they honor Noble Drew Ali but Noble Drew Ali thought man knows not by being told. So if man knows not by being told, then who convinced your dumbass to go get a Moorish American travel document, and that's proof of your nationality, but that didn't come from a Moorish American, that came from somebody in Manchuria? What kind of sense does that make? Does it make sense at all? Maybe you're still lost. Maybe you still don't get it. And if you still don't get it, at this point, you probably need to get off all this social media and all this stuff. Get off all that and go do some research and some studying, because you're out of your league right now. Because they have you fooled thinking that how many different countries in the world have passports? Matter of fact, when you watch all these espionage movies or whatever like that, these people have 50 different passports for them to go wherever they want to in the world. And then those are fraudulent. So if those are fraudulent and they let them pass with them, doesn't that let you know that the whole system is fraud? If they're going to let you go across the border with ease using something that looks like a passport, but it says Moorish American travel document on it, and your dumbass doesn't know that a passport in general is a travel document, why are they lying to you? Why didn't they just call it a passport, a Moorish passport? Oh, because they know they wouldn't sell any, because Moors aren't that dumb. Moors are semi-dumb. Moors aren't completely dumb. They're just semi-dumb. Because they wouldn't fall for it if it was called Moorish American passport. They would have laughed at these people and said, what are you trying? What we need that for? But they didn't. They made sure. They made sure they did everything in their power to tell you that it's not a passport. It's a travel document. All right. So let's go with that. Okay. So if it's a travel document, then that means it's identifying the nationality of the issuing country. So if Moorish American travel document has a founder and CEO, is that a country? Because U.S. has a CEO, right? Are they a country? If U.S. has a president and Canada has a prime minister, and those are CEOs, chief executive officers, is that a country? And if that's not a country, then how are they issuing identification documents if that's not a country? Oh, they're a government. Oh, they're national republic government. Oh, so okay, so all right, so okay, so if they're national republic government, then why are they talking about Moorish American travel document founder and CEO? Why don't you just say Moorish American national government? Shouldn't they just say Moorish American national government is the issue of this? Why do they keep pushing this MAT-D thing? Why do they keep pushing MAT-D? Oh, because that's the thing that is issuing it. And that thing issuing it doesn't have any tie to the Moorish nation. Why? Because it was founded near China, near Manchuria, near Asia. Asia is not America. Asia is across the Atlantic Ocean. And I don't think I'm confused. I think I'm pretty all right with geography. I think I'm pretty all right with geography. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, that this idea of someone in Asia making American identification has to be a fraud. Has to be. It has to be a fraud. There's no way that it's not a fraud. There's absolutely no way that it's not a fraud. You can't say that it's a fraud because it works. Well, if it works so good, how come the guy who created it hasn't used it yet to go anywhere? How come he's still in Manchuria? And we're still waiting for whoever's riding his Richard. Whoever's riding the Moorish American travel document Richard. We're still waiting for you to explain to us how come this works so well, but the guy who's issuing it never used it to go anywhere. Where's his videos of him going to the border, showing the Moorish American travel document and getting on a plane going somewhere? Where's his videos? You see any? You didn't see any? Since 2019? He hasn't gone anywhere since 2019? I mean, I'm sure he had to have gone somewhere because, it wasn't COVID yet. It wasn't COVID yet. It wasn't COVID yet. So you could go anywhere before COVID. But there's nothing? Absolutely nothing? Like somebody said in the chat, be careful. Because it's your own. wearing turbans and fezzes that is going to sell you right back into slavery. They're going to sell you right back into slavery. And guess whose fault it's going to be when you're sold back into slavery? Not the person who sold you. Because slavery is voluntary. And we know all you people didn't get your arm twisted, didn't have a gun in your face for you to go get some Moorish American travel document. You didn't go. It's your own that's going to sell you out. And you keep looking at, well, who's paying them? If they're a sellout, who's paying them? You are, you dumbass. You're paying them. You don't need to get no finance from some European to be a sellout. You're going to pay them. Because you're going to go around paying $160 for a passport. You're going to go around paying $160 for a passport. You're claiming that you're Moorish American. But you're going to you're talking about you want ackee and sawfish and you're going to some Europeans. You want pasta, you're going to some African could make you pasta. You want French fries and you're going to the English. You talk about you got French fries. How? How you get French fries from a European that's English? I thought shouldn't you go to the French to get French fries? You're sitting there talking Filipino to a German shepherd. You want to know how come they're not understanding what you're talking about? Why would a German shepherd know Filipino? Isn't he German? You better start using your common sense. You better start using your common sense. Because when you study Buddhist and Zoroastrianism and mysticism, they tell you common sense is one of the highest senses. Logic and reason is up there. Right? Yeah, you go into California to get Idaho potatoes. How? How? What do you mean? Well, they sold them there. They sold them there, so that's where they're from. No, it's not. That's not Idaho. Manchuria is not Moorish America. Right? Please, Casper the friendly ghost, go somewhere. Casper the friendly ghost talking crazy. You build on nothing. What do you think this is? You don't know you trolls? You know about you trolls. You ain't adding you to anything. Add yourself to yourself. Go live with yourself. Come in peace. Come in your girl. How about that? Don't come in here. Don't come over here. We don't need any coming over here. Take your coming and go over there. Hell are you talking about? We don't want your coming over here. Talking crazy. I don't know who you people think you are. We're not the ones. Go come on Virgo Triad and Artie, and go come with them. Not bringing your BS over here. Till you repent for all your sins, talking crazy about Cujo, talking crazy about Canaanland Moors. You're not about building anything. You're about destroying. Destroy yourself. Good try. So I want to bring your attention as well, because we know Moors like to study. Since you like to study, let's put you onto one right here. The Moors rise from civil death. Moors Order of the Round Table. Civic lesson number 5. Civic lesson number 5. All right. Lesson A. Lesson A. In propria persona. Both the European and Asiatic who possess the same name are of different pedigree. Therefore, the European English name Peter Taylor has a different meaning at law for each of them. So the Asiatic named Peter Taylor, then the colonists named Peter Taylor. The colonists named Peter Taylor. The name Peter Taylor for this European denotes at law that the European is a free man, self-owned. This Peter Taylor, who is obviously European, is lawfully tied to his national parentage. He honors his ancestors, for he carries their name. This Peter Taylor is of European English descent. Peter Taylor. The name Peter Taylor for this Asiatic denotes at law the property title of the Taylor family, whose name he bears. In the modified, sophisticated, bureaucratic slavery of the juristic United States of America, the states are the overseers for the European family's chattel stocks. This Peter Taylor, who is obviously Asiatic, does not honor his ancestors, for he carries the name of his slave owner, who is from a different pedigree nation. So Peter Taylor, being a European, and Peter Taylor, an Asiatic with the name Peter Taylor, are two different meanings at law. A European is always going to be a European, no matter what you call him. He's European. Asiatic is always going to be an Asiatic, no matter what you call him. If the Asiatic has a European name, he's property of whoever's name he bears. It's property. He's not free to do what he wants. He's property. Because he's property, he can't fully be a European like the European could be a European, because the European honors his foremothers and forefathers by being called Peter Taylor, which his family is from a bunch of tailors, and he's from the Taylor family, the clothes making people. Asiatic, named Peter Taylor. Yeah, his family could probably be tailors too. But if he's Asiatic, he should probably have an Asiatic name, not a European name. Probably have an Asiatic name, not a European name. And again, we're going basic. We're not talking about when the Moors ruled Europe and all that stuff. We're doing basic. There's Europeans on the planet, and there's Asiatics on the planet. Europeans are all the European nations. Asiatics is everybody else who's not in Europe. Check. Lesson B. In propria persona. Both the Asiatic and European who possess the same name are of different parentage. Therefore, the Asiatic Moorish name Salam Bey has a different meaning at law for each of them. So there's the more. Salam Bey. The name Salam Bey for the Asiatic donates at law that this Asiatic is a free man, self-owned, just like the European who has his own ancestral name. This Salam Bey, who is obviously Asiatic, is lawfully tied to his national pedigree. He honors his ancestors, for he carries their noble title. This Asiatic is of Moorish descent. Asiatic. Salam Bey. The name Salam Bey for this European denotes at law the property of a family from the imperial Moorish nation. This Salam Bey, who is obviously European, does not honor his ancestors, for he carries the name of a national of a different pedigree nation. Isn't this a European right here? Called Salam Bey? He's a European, right? And then he's saying that he's Salam Bey. What does that mean? That means that he's property. Because Bey is not his name. He's supposed to be Taylor. How come he not calling himself Taylor? Well, because he already knows what the Taylors did. They're a fraud. Especially when they're in land that's not theirs, pretending to be Taylors. And they rule something. They don't rule anything. It's a fraud. So Europeans said, you know what? Since these are the real heirs of the land, as a European, I'm going to tie myself to them instead of tying myself to my foremothers and forefathers who murdered and killed these people for everything that his foremothers and forefathers have. So, when Moors, and keep in mind, this is not what Kudrow says, right? Keep in mind, it's everybody's Richard writer, right? Edited by Brother Abdullah El Talib Mozi Bey. Everybody knows him. And everybody knows Moore's Order of the Round Table. Everybody knows who that is. Civic lesson number 5. Everybody knows. Now Kudrow says, so any European that's calling themselves Bey, Dey, El, Al, or Ali, they're property of the family from which name they're holding. You know what property means? Probably look up property, so you know what that means. So Europeans who are in allegiance with the Moorish nation don't think that they're the firstborn. Because they're not. They're European. They're property. So don't get mad that Europeans calling themselves Bay and El and Day and Al and Ali. Don't get mad. That's your property. What do you do with your property? What you want with it? It's not too hard to get. The problem is the Bays and the L's and the Days and the Al's and Ali's have been so inactive. They've been so inactive that they just expect everybody to go with their inactivity. It's not about them going with their inactivity. They're supposed to be active. For example, the European by the name of Peter Lamborn Wilson said his name is Hakeem Bey. Under the name Hakeem Bey, they started up the Moorish Orthodox Church, which was for Europeans. Why? Because these Europeans realized that if they're going to get anywhere in the Americas, it's not going to be under U.S. because that's not a European government that got permission from some sultan in Morocco. That's a corpse. And because it's a corpse, they don't want anything to do with that. Why would they want anything to do with that? It's a corpse. They know what corporations are. They're not dumb like our people. So Moorish Orthodox Church were issuing Moorish passports to the Europeans who were part of the Moorish Orthodox Church. Where were the Moors telling them they can't do that? Oh, because they got sanctioned by Moors to do that. They just make that stuff up yesterday on their own. Everything that they got in the Moorish Orthodox Church is insignia from the Moors. Because why would they be in Morocco and do European stuff? Just like, why would Moorish American travel document be in China doing Moorish American stuff? It doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't even make any sense whatsoever. They don't have any power when they have Bey, Day, El, Al, and Ali. Because as soon as they present who they are, you're going to obviously, just like it says, this Salam Bey, who is obviously European, obviously he's not a Bey. Obviously. Obviously he's not Taylor. Obviously he's not Taylor. Isn't it obvious that he's not Taylor? Isn't it obvious that he shouldn't have a European name? He should probably have a name that goes back to his ancient forefathers. And then if he doesn't, that means he's property. And nobody's going to argue that. Nobody's going to dispute that black people with European names are slaves to the name that they have. Because that's Massa's name. Right? That's what they say, right? Okay, so then how is this different? And what happens when the slave gets out of line or whatever? Anybody in the chat? What happens when slave times, when the slave gets out of line, what do? They deal with the property. Right? So don't get distracted. Stay focused. We're Moors, they're Europeans. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Study, study, study. Honors to all the mothers.